Here in Gran Turismo 7, Polyphony Digital takes a lot of pride in being easy and simple and accessible to pick up and play. With that being said, one of the few exceptions to this philosophy is the detailed tuning that is available on each and every car, well, except for the crappy VGT ones. But nonetheless, I want to provide you guys with some changes that you should just automatically make to every single car immediately without any thought, without the need to test, and without the need to know anything about the car or how it drives. This is going to be the most basic and bare bones tuning guide for those of you who don't want to sit there for hours trying to tweak every little thing on your car and just want to get into the race with something that's competitive. If you guys do find good use from this video and learn something new today, be sure to leave a like, comment, and also subscribe, as this helps get this video out to more people so the community can grow and get better at the game. Now that I have an inkling that PD doesn't plan on changing the physics too many times after this video has come out, I will do a more detailed tuning guide for some of the more advanced and experienced Gran Turismo players later on. But today, let's just get into the basic tuning tips that you should do to every single car without needing to test. Now, this is a pretty basic and entry-level race car in Gran Turismo 7. It doesn't have too much power, it's not too heavy, not too light. It's a good car to show off the basic fundamentals on, although like I said, these changes will work for almost every single car in the entire game. The first thing to look at is the ride height. Now, this is probably the most complicated part of the video, because if you are driving a road car, you don't want to immediately just slam the car like I'm doing here. But on race cars, for the most part, they almost never bottom out. Now, bottoming out and having the tire hit the fender, preventing you from being able to turn properly, is something I talked about in a previous video, and I will leave a link in the description below if you want to check out that video. But for all intents and purposes, in race cars, you want to slam the ride height as low as you can, and on a lot of road cars, you probably want to lower it probably 10 or 15 points on the front and the rear. Lowering the ride height provides better straight line speed as well as a better platform for the aerodynamics to work properly on the car, so I recommend doing this on every car. Next up, we have the anti-roll bars. Just put these to 10 and 10. There are some scenarios where you'll want to lower the front roll bar a little bit and maybe even the rear on very specific cars, but generally speaking, 10 and 10 will always be better than 5 and 5. Stiffer roll bars in this game are just faster than running them soft. Damping ratio compression, honestly, you can keep it where it is for all intents and purposes. I would generally say that 40 is probably the right way to go on most cars, but so 40-40 might be what you want to do for this video, but it's not super consequential, honestly. Expansion dampers, however, they're just faster at 50. There's no question about it. You're going to be better at 50 than if you put it at anything else. For natural frequency, between 3 and 4 is the number that you're looking for. Now, a lot of cars can't even really get up towards 4, especially in the road car space. They simply just don't have an option to run the natural frequency that high, but I would aim somewhere between 3 or 4. On road cars, maybe in the higher 3s. Road cars, generally speaking, need a little bit higher of a natural frequency or spring rate than race cars do, so I would say somewhere between 3 and 3.5 will work. For camber, the stock camber values are way too high, especially on the front. I would aim somewhere between 1.2 and 2.0. On this car, for instance, I'm probably going to run 1.5. That's a pretty safe bet. And then the camber angle in the rear, honestly, I just run it around 2.2 on a car like this. Maybe you could run it around 2.0, a little bit lower. Generally speaking, the sweet spot is somewhere between 1.7 and 2.7, 2.8, around that area. For lower end race cars like this, I would probably lean towards 2.0. And last but not least, on every single car you own, just take off all the tow. Now, tow can provide a little bit of benefit in corners for some cars and makes it feel a little bit more hunkered down, but the downsides to tow angle almost always outweigh the upsides, and running it on neutral will improve your top end speed, it will make your tire wear a hell of a lot better, and it's just going to make the car overall a lot stronger. Coming down to the differential, remove initial torque. Now, for those of you who don't know, initial torque is not just about your initial torque on throttle response, it also causes the car to understeer a little bit upon lifting off the gas into a corner. Understeer is generally bad, especially on race cars, so I like to put this down to 5. Personally, I think it's almost always better. For the acceleration and the braking sensitivity, it's really car to car, and I find that the stock values, especially on race cars, always seem to work pretty well. You could leave these two values at stock for the time being until maybe you want to do some more detailed testing. Generally speaking, if you put the braking sensitivity up higher, it means that the car is going to be more stable when you lift off the gas entering a corner, and at 5, it's going to be a little bit more rotation heavy with a little bit less stability entering corners, but generally speaking, you can keep this around stock and still do pretty well with all of these other changes I listed above. And if you look closely, guys, the performance points on the car has not changed at all. We haven't changed any horsepower, weight, or downforce, which also manipulates the performance points, and I guarantee you this car is going to drive far better and be way faster than it was stock just by making these very simple changes. And once again, these changes are universal to almost every single car. Once again, the compression dampers aren't super consequential. Differential. But otherwise, I think this is a great base setup that you can use on basically anything that you buy just to get a little bit of an edge on your single player races or in open lobbies. Like I said earlier, I will definitely do a more detailed tuning guide in the future, but this should be extremely helpful for those of you who are new to tuning or maybe just a little bit intimidated by the numbers. The tuning community in GT7 is vast, and there's plenty of different leagues and tuning races that you could sink your teeth into in open lobby, but putting a base setup on like this can definitely get you started in the right direction to perform a lot better in your single player and multiplayer races. I really hope you guys enjoy. If you do, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As I said earlier, it really helps me in the algorithm and gets this video out to more people. Without letting this video drag on too long, I hope you guys all have a fantastic night. It's been your boy Dude, and I'm out. Peace.